WrestleMania 33 is this Sunday, and we have just the pre-show matches to talk about this time because that's the only two matches that really matter at this point. First off, the SmackDown Women's Championship has been relegated to the pre-show, which is unfortunate. But, at the same time, there's a good reason for that, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Well, it's not really a good reason, but we'll get to it nonetheless. As Alexa Bliss defends the title against every available woman on the SmackDown roster. And so far that is Becky Lynch, Carmella, Mickie James, the returning Naomi, and Natalya as Nikki Bella and Maurice are in their own match. So they're technically not in this match, but they could appear. They could appear on the pre-show and then just rest a little bit and then be on the match. It's possible, but I doubt it. There's also been rumors of Tamina coming back for SmackDown. There's been rumors of Emma switching from Raw to SmackDown. There's been rumors of Kelly coming back since she's, appearing at Access for a couple signings, as is Eve Torres. And, of course, both of them are on Maurice with the table for free thing for the network. So just based on who we have so far, we have to go on who we have so far. I mean, Alexa Bliss champion. She could retain it, but in this type of match, it doesn't favor the champion, so I wouldn't doubt it. There is one thing to talk about, though. That Eva Marie will not be in this match, as she has opted not to renew her contract. At the same time, you could have her come back just for the hell of it, but she's not going to renew her contract. What's the point of her giving her a Mania payday? What's the point of you having her on the roster? I wouldn't be surprised if Eva is one of the first cuts after WrestleMania from the roster, because I wouldn't be surprised with that at all. But as far as the champion goes, again, Alexa Bliss, she could win it, but I don't think she will. Becky Lynch is one of the front runners, but again, I don't know. You could give it back to Becky, but I don't think it'll happen. Carmella, with Carmella, it's different because, ironically, James Ellsworth is the wild card in this match. I mean, we saw him got involved in the tag match last night on SmackDown that helped Carmella pick up the win. That could very well happen at WrestleMania, and she's basically using him at this point to get to the title. And it's unfortunate for Ellsworth, but that's the role you gotta do. I mean, Santino did it over a decade ago. Almost a decade at this point, yeah. Pretty much almost a decade since the Play Bunny thing, and Santino was involved with that. Of course, missed WrestleMania, but all that junk. Mickie James. A lot of people have been saying this is Mickey's time to win the belt, and technically, if you count the Divas Championship, this could be her 7th reign with a title in WWE, which means she would tie with Trish Stratus. So that is a possibility, but I don't know if they're going to do that at this moment. Naomi, honestly, Naomi is the favorite in this match. Naomi is the favorite, and I would not be surprised if after coming back from injury, then she could win the belt in her hometown, which would be a great moment for the people of Orlando. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, why did you take the title off her to begin with? I understand the 30-day rule is somewhat in effect when they want it to be. But if obviously they didn't know how bad the injury was or how good Naomi would rehab to get back at this point. We can't fault them for that. But if this was the roles reversed, Naomi would walk in and walk out with a title. It'd be that simple. But, now I don't know what will happen to her. And finally, Natalya. This could be one of her last WrestleManias for sure, because I don't know what the future holds for her. She's pretty much helping the younger talent at this point get ready for television or getting them ready in general to take over that role when she's gone. I don't think she's going to win, but, you never know. And finally, well, before we get to that, there's a reason that both of these matches that we're going to talk about are on the pre-show, is because Pitbull, Flo Rida, and Lunch Money Lewis are performing Greenlight or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't care. Obviously, I don't care about this. This is honestly the piss break. I would say that if it was just them. But the reason this could be interesting is because the Stephen Marley, the son of the late, great Bob Marley, is also in this performance, and I don't know what he's going to do. The only thing that keeps this from being a piss break is what Stephen Marley could do in this. I've never heard of him until recently. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, it's like, oh shit, Bob Marley has a son, or had a son. You know, it's interesting to me. I don't know what his style is, if it's like his father's, if it's not. I don't really know. And that's the only thing that'll keep this interesting. I don't know what's going to happen here. But I hope he does well, regardless of what he does. He's got mighty big shoes to fill. That's all I'm going to say about that. But finally, the other match that has been really good at the pre-show because of that is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And SmackDown has had a bunch of competitors. They were on here earlier, a couple weeks ago, but we'll go through them again. Just because they just got re-added, apparently. First off, Dolph Ziggler. You know, he could be Final 4, Final 8 material, but I don't think he'll win it. I don't know. The SmackDown Tag Champions, they won't have their own title match. They will be in the match itself as the Usos. Jimmy and Jay will be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. If they work together, they could be Final 8. They could be Final 4 in the Battle Royal, but I don't think they'll win it. Unless you want to have them win it and show how dominant SmackDown's tag division is. You know, since they're not going to have a match for the titles. Might as well get them in there somehow, I guess. Speaking of tag teams, American Alpha. Is Jason Jordan in this? Or is it just Chad Gable? I think American Alpha are both in it. They just didn't put Jordan in there for some reason. I'm just going to add both of them in there because it just says Chad Gable for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe Jordan's injured. I don't know. Something we don't know about. But just for the sake of it, American Alpha, both of them are in there. If they work together again, much like the Usos, they could be in Final 8. Maybe Final 4 even. But what I'm thinking it would be for Chad Gable to win this. Jason Jordan, you know, I don't know. Maybe you can do that. But I think this is more Gable's time, really. We already went for the fucking Shining Stars. Who else? Rhino and Heath Slater are in there. Rhino, just to make up the numbers, really. But again, it would be interesting to see him win. Slater's just there, going to be eliminated early on. It's that simple. Where did Mojo Rawley? And finally, Breezango. Tyler Breeze and Fandango. Again, they have to make up the numbers. But I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I would be really surprised if one of them won. I don't think they will. But overall, just looking at this list of people on Raw and SmackDown, I think either Braun Strowman will win, or maybe a surprise entrant will win, you know? I mean, hell, Baron Corbin won. He came from NXT last time. You know, he could win it. If he won it last year. He could win it, but he's in a Continental title match. But, you know, hell, you could bring up, I don't know, you could bring up the Revival. You could bring up anyone. Hell, you could put Kurt Angle in this. I'd be surprised if they didn't put Kurt Angle in this. I mean, Angle's in the Hall of Fame. He could help out American Alpha or something. I don't know. Do something. But with that, WrestleMania is this Sunday, and unless any names are in the Battle Royal or any names are in the Women's Championship match, we're pretty much done with WrestleMania. Predictions at that point. So, hopefully it'll be a good show. I was there last year. It was a great show. Hopefully we can just make it higher.